welcome to a new episode of Culture Magazine. Our program covers the recent cultural events that are taking place here in Egypt. Celebrating the 67th anniversary of Indonesia's Independence Day, the Embassy of Indonesia here in Egypt organized a very special occasion, inviting a number of ambassadors and Egyptian officials. So let's find out. Right now, we're very pleased to have with us the ambassador of Indonesia to Egypt, who's going to talk to us about such a great occasion. Sir, we thank you so much for joining us on Nile International.
Good night.
Sir, today we're celebrating the 67th anniversary of Indonesia's Independence Day.
Yeah.
So I would like to talk about the importance of such a day for Indonesia.
For Indonesian, every year we celebrate our Independence Day, and this day at 17th of August we celebrate 67 University Day, Independence Day in Egypt, especially in Cairo. And this night we make commemorating with other diplomatic reception in the 67th anniversary of the Indonesian Independence Day. Witnessing the modern history of Egypt, this is the Egypt Renaissance in the aftermath of 25 January Revolution. Indonesians look forward to a much stronger tie with Egypt, as much as we have done so far to maintain and strengthen a solid foundation of the relation. We also need to work to build a concrete cooperation that it is mutual beneficial for the interest of our people. Both people side by side, Egypt and Indonesian will support each other.
So of course, since your Independence Day, I think that relations strengthened between both Egypt and Indonesia. So talking about the recent relations between both countries, I mean politically, economically, culturally even.
Yeah. Egypt is the first country to declare that the independence of Indonesia is. Egypt is the first country to declare that and support the Indonesian independence. And then Arab Liga follow up the Egypt, and then the other nation and the country to declare also for Indonesian independence in 17 August of 1945.
Right now, we're pleased to have with us Mr. Iwan Wijaya, the Economic Counselor at the Indonesian Embassy. Sir, we thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you very much for coming here. This is independence celebrations, and I'd like to say thank you for the Egyptian government and the people who pronounced our independence, the first state who pronounced our independence. Thank you.
Such a special occasion is very important, and it's a turning point in Indonesia. So talk to me about the importance of such a day for Indonesians.
Well, you know, this is 67 years of our independence. We've been struggling for economic development. We've passed through the reformations. Indonesia is one of the biggest country of Muslim population. and we are being a newly democratic country, and we are happy to be in Egypt and to share some experience with the Egyptian government and people.
Talking about the recent economic cooperation between both Indonesia and Egypt, I would like to stress on this point in specific.
Please. Well, you know, we are two countries. We have a different environmental, we have different atmospheres. There's a lot of things to be developed. For example, we are potential in the furnitures and forest products. And we would like to share this experience developing in Egypt. We have a cooperation with your investment governments of this for H and Gondok. It's like a leaf that's in the Nile rivers to make it furnitures or handicraft of some kind of for small and medium enterprises.
We're pleased to have with us Mrs. Rasha Aizat, the Social Secretary of the Indonesian Embassy. We thank you so much for joining us on Nile International.
Thank you and welcome to our Indonesian Independence Day.
Thank you. So of course, first let's start with the importance of such a day. It's the 67th anniversary of the Indonesia's Independence Day. So what do you like to say in such a special occasion?
Actually, we are so glad to welcome you here at our Independence Day, and we can talk about the relations between Egypt and Indonesia, as Egypt was the first Arab country and actually first country in the world to recognize the independence of the Republic of Indonesia. And that actually great efforts by the Egyptian government during the era of Abdurrahman Azam Basha, first Undersecretary of the League Arab. And accordingly, Egypt got the independence and sovereignty. And 2 years later, we opened the relations, the diplomatic relations between the two countries. And Egypt has recognized the rule of Egypt is recognized by the Indonesian people, and it's in the history of the Egyptian-Indonesian relation.
To focus on the social relations between both countries and how these relations strengthen by years.
Yeah, actually we have great relations with Egypt on all aspects, the political, the social and the economic. But for the social and the culture events, we have many students here, like more than 4,500 students studying at Azhar University and other schools in Egypt. Besides, we have also great cooperation in the field of opera, of more troops coming from Indonesia to perform here in Egypt. And actually, Egyptian people like very much that. We have also the Indonesian Culture Center in Doki. We have great services. We offer free of charge courses of Indonesian language, also music, dance, and everything. We have now like more than 250 students and Egyptians and other nationals coming to the Culture Center, and we enjoy that actually between the two countries.
Rasha, it's too interesting because you're an Egyptian who knows a lot about Indonesia and their culture. So I'd like to talk specifically about their costumes, their nature. What do you like to tell me about that?
Okay, firstly, if I talk about women in Indonesia, this is very important as women get their, emancipation earlier since Kartini, Ibu Kita Kartini. This is one of the most important and most famous ladies in Indonesia that fought actually for independence. And if we talk about Indonesia, we find that the woman now is working in all fields, as scientists, teachers, translators, directors, and even ministers. If I talk about the national custom, actually they have their own traditions and habits. Indonesia is the biggest archipelago nation in the world. They consist of more than 17,500 islands, and you can imagine more than 350 languages and ethnic groups. Each province, we have more than 27 provinces in Indonesia, all having its own type and style. About the Indonesian costumes, actually, which is very known to the people. Yes, something like that. We have, we call it as a sari. This is a kind of, a piece of cloth to be wrapped around the lower part of the body. Then we have applause or kebaya. We have more kebayas here actually, and then selendang. For me, because I'm veiled, I wear it on my head, but we can use it like that on our shoulder or, elsewise if you're not wearing that. And then we have it sandal with it. If you're not veiled, if you're not wearing a veil, then you have a kind of hair knot, a big hair knot, actually like Japanese. It's very well known in Java and all. And it's all interesting.
Culture magazine's Camera follows the recent cultural events that are taking place here in Egypt. If you want to know the details about these events, so stay tuned and don't go anywhere.